showing the interstellar object believed to be a comet speeding through space within few of
In space, a mystery is currently being revealed. This mystery has a name, 3I Atlas. However, that does not imply that we truly understand what it is or what it is doing. 3I Atlas is peculiar. It appears strange. It moves strangely. It is composed of strange materials. And despite all the time we've spent researching this object, there's mounting evidence that it may have been researching us for a lot longer. Let's start with a few recent photos of the 3I Atlas that were taken by astrophotographers in the southern African desert of Namibia. One of the darkest spots on the planet, this location is ideal for stargazing. Additionally, the sky gets as dark as it can get during a lunar eclipse when the moon is totally obscured from sunlight by Earth's shadow. They could have aimed their cameras anywhere at that precise moment. However, 3I Atlas was their choice, and they were shocked by what they saw. In the night sky, the object was glowing a vivid green. The problem is that, given what we know about this object, it shouldn't be glowing green. Not in a natural way anyway. As you can see, scientists think 3I Atlas is an interstellar comet, which means it originated from a different star system somewhere in the galaxy, outside of our own. It has a long tail that flows behind it, and a large hazy halo of gas and dust, known as a coma. So far, so comet-like. The first oddity, though, is that some comets do indeed turn green. That is typical. It occurs when carbon molecules in the coma are exposed to ultraviolet light from the sun, and we know why. It specifically affects diatomic carbon, or C2, which is made up of two carbon atoms that are bonded together. It glows green when exposed to sunlight. Therefore, we would anticipate that 3I Atlas would contain a large number of these carbon molecules if it were a typical comet. However, observations using almost all of the world's largest telescopes show that it doesn't. Those carbon chain molecules are lacking in 3I Atlas. It lacks C2. Nevertheless, it continues to glow a vivid green. That shouldn't be feasible. Then there is the metal. Researchers have found a startlingly high concentration of nickel in the coma. Nickel isn't uncommon for comets in general, but when it does show up, that's what's odd. Nickel and other metals typically only vaporize when a comet approaches the sun closely enough to melt the metals and release them into space. However, nickel was still floating between Mars and Jupiter when it was discovered for the first time in 3I Atlas, far from the sun. So how is all that nickel being released on Earth, or more accurately, how is it happening in space? That has no natural explanation, unless you consider a crazy possibility. Nickel would make perfect sense if 3I Atlas were some sort of alien spacecraft, and that's a big if. Alloys containing a lot of nickel are used to build rocket engines, particularly sophisticated ones. Additionally, nickel and CO2 are released into the exhaust when those engines fire. Doesn't it sound familiar? Of course, that is only a theory. Most likely it's not aliens. Still, it's strange. And that leads us to what may be the most peculiar aspect of all, 3I Atlas's gait. Its trajectory has remained nearly constant since it was first observed in May. It hasn't accelerated, it hasn't slowed down, at least not in a significant way. That might not seem odd at first. For a comet, however, that is very unusual. Comets get hotter as they get closer to the sun. Their surface ice sublimates, or changes straight from solid to gas, as a result of that heat. The comet is propelled around by the gas jets that shoot off into space like tiny thrusters. This is known to astronomers as non-gravitational acceleration, or NGA. The daily fluctuations of a typical comet can range from dozens to hundreds of kilometers. Let's make a comparison. Another interstellar comet, 2I Borisov, oscillated at a rate of more than 100 kilometers per day. One of the largest comets ever discovered, Hale-Bopp, moved at a rate of roughly 10 kilometers every day. The first known interstellar object, Oumuamua, occasionally changed course by more than 1,000 kilometers per day. What about 3I Atlas, merely 1.5 kilometers every day? Not only is that stable, but it's unnaturally stable. You could almost say that it is being guided because it is maintaining such a steady trajectory, as though it were being guided by someone or something. 3I Atlas is currently expected to pass on the other side of the Sun from Earth. This implies that a close-up view is unlikely to be provided. Additionally, unless it chooses to slow down and wait on the other side, it won't get a close-up look at us. Not likely, perhaps, not possible, not always. This is where the interesting part begins. Are you familiar with the WOW signal? In 1977, Ohio State University astronomers were using a radio telescope known as the Big Ear to scan the sky. They discovered something remarkable one day: a strong 72-second narrowband radio signal. It originated in deep space, specifically from the Sagittarius constellation. No known satellites, planets, or natural sources matched it. The on-duty astronomer wrote just the word "wow" on the data printout because it was so unexpected. The wow signal gets its name from that. What is the frequency of the signal? 1,420 megahertz. That isn't arbitrary. It is the precise frequency of the hydrogen line, a naturally occurring radio signal generated by the most prevalent element in the universe, hydrogen atoms. An intelligent civilization would probably use that frequency if they wished to broadcast a straightforward, universal message that would say, "We're here." The worst part is that we haven't found another signal like it since that day in 1977. Now, of course, that's just a theory. It's never been proven true. But it's never been proven false either, and that's the beauty of it. 3I Atlas is a reminder that the universe still holds mysteries we can't yet explain. Objects like this force us to keep an open mind, to accept that the truth might be far stranger than we imagine. Because whether it's a comet, a cosmic visitor, or something built by hands or minds we've never met, the truth is still out there. And right now, it's heading in our direction. If this mystery blew your mind, be sure to give us a like, subscribe for more deep space stories, and as always, smash that notification bell so you never miss the next cosmic revelation. Because the universe is talking, and we're here to listen.